We went to the south of France, Nice, the south of France one year, went to Florence, Italy, and Sandra and I and some other people went to Mexico in February 2020, just before the coronavirus was officially seen as a problem, which was declared in the middle of March by President Trump. And I loved it. And I just love hosting events. And in February, I had all planned out, my events for the year, where they were going to be. And it's really the engine for my business. And it's a really great component of helping thought leaders or helping the coaches that I train. And then, the wheels came off middle of March. All events are canceled. Conventions are canceled. So Xander's speaking career and my business, which is event centered, was very problematic. And, for about a month, I was really depressed and kind of didn't have any wind in my sails. So I thought, okay, Aurora, stop that. You have to come up with a big, bold goal. And you know what? Surviving is not a big, bold goal, right? Like that, we want to be thriving. So I set myself a goal that I thought was a bit of a stretch goal given the pandemic, although I have done more than this before, and I just liked it. So I set the goal of 100K in 100 days. And I remind myself of my big, bold goal all of the time. I have my bullseye, 100K in 100 days. So I'm not really that money motivated. So actually it was really helpful doing that. I noticed how I wasn't paying attention. So then I started paying attention because I've got this, and I've got something else on my fridge. And I started the challenge to myself on May the 30th. And because I was paying attention, I asked people for orders. You know what? When you ask people, you just never know what happens. So in 55 days, I had exceeded my goal of 100K in 100 days. And then it was interesting. The day that happened was like so rocky. It was like, yay, yay, I did it on top of the world, yay, yay, yay. And then it was like, what if I can't do it again? What if it was a fluke? What if that's all the revenue for the whole year? Oh, what if I announce this and then that's like a one-shot deal, then I'll be embarrassed, because I've been shooting videos, although I haven't released them yet. It's called Diary of a Determined Entrepreneur. And then part of that money actually came in through a grant that I had applied for months earlier, and the government didn't hear back. So it's a 30-year loan and 3% interest. So basically a grant. And then I thought, well, I shouldn't count that, like maybe that, and I had this whole story. And then I'm like, no, I said 100K in 100 days. I didn't say how. And I really get annoyed when my clients go like, yeah, but they don't count things. It's kind of like the person who's, in the middle of a flood on the top of the roof of his house praying for God to rescue him. I'm sure you've heard this fable, but it's a good one.
I love this one.
People come by in a rowboat, can we give you a lift? No, that's okay. God's going to save me. Somebody comes by in a canoe. Can we help you? No, God's going to save me. Some final person comes by in a powerboat. Can we help you? As he's like sinking, he's like, no, I prayed to God. God's going to save me. And then he drowns. And then, at the gates to heaven, I said, like, why didn't you save me? He's like, well, what? You said no 3 times. I sent people to help you. So I thought, no, I'm going to count that. So August 1st, I started another 100K in 100 days challenge. And all this money is pouring in, like from all kinds of random places. And I'm on track to do the 100Ks in 100 days again. But what I want to underscore, that is the really important point behind all of this, very important to me, but rambling to you perhaps. But the important point is that the second time I said, no, I'm going to do it again, I started asking better quality of questions. So instead of thinking, where can I pick up, another $1,000 or $10,000 or $50,000 client, I started thinking, what businesses need what I have? And then I came up with a vision to create be a catalyst for $10 million worth of value. And now I have an idea to launch a whole new company and raise $5 million for it. So there's also this other element that if you continue asking high quality questions, you will up your game, because you will get answers if you don't wimp out. I almost wimped out there for a minute, but then I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And I'm finding like, oh, wow, probably I'll be announcing sometime, that I did instead of 100K in 100 days, maybe 1 million in
Right.
100 days. And it's really not about the money. The money is just a way of keeping score of the value add. So anyway, I wanted to share that personal goal setting story because that's happening right now.
And that's awesome. And congratulations, Aurora. That's I'm so excited for you. And it's funny you were talking about asking for help and value, right? And there are two things that popped into my mind I wanted to share with you and the audience, which is there's a story. Tip O'Neill, who was the Speaker of the Congress, the House of Representatives for like 30 years. I was from Boston. I grew up in Boston, and he was out at an event, and this woman came up and said, "I didn't vote for you in the last election." And he said, "Why not?" She said, "You didn't ask."
Ah.
And I have found that I get so much more when I ask specific questions for the help that I need.